I vow to all the seekers of truth. At the very outset, we have to know that truth is what it is. You cannot change it, you cannot describe it, and you cannot say you know the truth. Unless and until you know it, it is not truth. It is a very big problem that people believe they know the truth. They know the truth which they have understood through their mental capacity. But if the truth was known to everyone, there would have been no problems, no quarrels, no discussions, no arguments, and no wars. We have to know the absolute truth. When we know the absolute truth, there is no question of getting into discussion or taking another point of view. I am sitting before you. You all know I am sitting before you. Nobody can say I am not sitting before you because you can see it. But the absolute truth is to be felt on your central nervous system. This knowledge has been known in our country, in your country, and every country, but by very few people. The knowledge which is earned through your evolutionary process is the knowledge. When you evolve to a human state, you have not yet completed your evolution. It's visible the way we are fighting, quarreling, and behaving in the worst manner that I don't know how to describe it. So what is the truth? The truth is that you are not this body, this mind, these emotions, this intelligence, these conditionings, your ego, but you are the pure spirit. It's a fact. Every religion has talked about transformation. That you should follow a religion so that you get your transformation. There's no religion which has said that you follow the religion for religion's sake. But we have deviated from that path, taking to transformation. Unless and until you transform yourself, unless and until this breakthrough in your awareness through evolutionary process takes place, you will not know the truth on your central nervous system. For example, I feel this place, I know it is cold. I can feel something, I can feel it is hot. It cannot be challenged, it cannot be disputed. For that, we have to know our Creator has done such a lot for us. Within us lies all these centers as you see them. There is another truth we have to understand. We see these beautiful flowers around and we take them for granted. We never even think how these different flowers have come out of little seeds. What the Mother Earth has done. Whatever is living work, we take it for granted. Who runs our heart? If you ask the doctors, they will say this is autonomous nervous system. But who is the auto? Who runs the heart? They can't answer. Science cannot answer that question. Science cannot answer many questions. One of them is, why are you on this earth? Why am I on this earth? We have no identity. We have no purpose. can be answered very easily. If you know, the another truth is that there is an all-pervading power of divine love, which does all these living works. This we have never felt before. It can be called as Parama Chaitanya, it can be called as Rup, it can be called as Ritambara Pragya. It is called by various names. Other they call it Nirakar. All kinds of words can be used to describe this all-pervading subtle power which does all the living work. Now, if this all-pervading power is doing all the work, and we do not know about it, so we have to really feel it. And this can be easily felt through this Kundalini awakening. This power is your own. Kundalini is your own. And like a seed is having a little premium, this also has that premium type of existence. And as it rises out of the Mother Earth, in the same way, this premium, the Kundalini, rises within you and passes through 6 centers, pierces through your fontanelle bone and connects you to this all-pervading power. It's as simple as that. It is spontaneous. When we sow a seed in the Mother Earth, what do? Nothing, we sow it. Because the Mother Earth has got built-in power to germinate, and the seed has the built-in power to get germinated. So this is your own power within you. In the sacrum bone, surprisingly, Greeks knew that it was a sacred bone, so they called it sacrum. And it rises very smoothly without troubling you. All these books that describe that Kundalini awakening is a horrible experience, I have never seen that before. It is not so. She is your mother. That is the, what you call the feminine divine power. She is your individual mother. And she knows everything about you. She is like a tape that has taped everything that you have been doing, whatever you are aspired. This is a gift we have, that we have to be connected to this all-pervading power. Like this instrument, if it is not connected to the mains, it cannot be used. In the same way, we have to be connected to that great power so that we know ourselves and also know others, as well as we know what divine love is. So what happens when you are connected? Firstly, you get your self-knowledge. All these centers get enlightened and you start feeling what's wrong with you. Then you start feeling what's wrong with others. You become collective. You become collective in the sense that you can feel others, and who is the other then? You can feel the centers of others. Now supposing you know how to improve your centers and to improve the centers of others, you can solve the problem. Because most of the problems of this world come from human beings. And most of the human problems come from these centers. Physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. All these problems, even political, economic, social, all of them come from the centers which are energy of water. If somehow you can manage to cure these centers, you get that transformation stage which we call as self-realization or call it as a evolved soul. In every religion we have had evolved souls, but they were all discarded and were never respected. The other day I was reading a book about Gnostics and their Bible. It's very surprising. that throughout they have talked about nothing but Sahaja. Sahaja. Saha means with, Ja is born. Born with you is this power, this right to become an evolved personality. This is a very, very simple, spontaneous method because it's a living process and all living processes are spontaneous. It's very amazing that it works so spontaneously in those days, which are supposed to be the worst. Kali Yuga, the modern times, the 20th century regarded as the worst for human beings. Because they'll be in illusions, pranti. But this was necessary so that people see. William Blake has described them as men of God who will be seeking godliness, will get their realization, will become godly and divine and will make others divine. That's what it is happening today and has to happen everywhere in the whole world. If you have to save the world from all the calamities and solve the problem of world affairs, one should try to become the self. We talk like this is my house, this is my husband, this is my wife, these are my children. We say my all the time. But who is this my which has all those things? That is the self. And the self is reflected within you, in your heart. That's the spirit which is the reflection of God Almighty. Now in these modern times of science, it's very difficult to talk of God or divine. Nobody believes because they have lost all these faiths. But Sahaja Yoga is absolutely tangible. You can feel on your fingertips your own centers and centers of others. Nobody has to convince you. Nobody has to tell you that that's wrong with you. Anybody, even children, small children, say about 10 children are there. You tie up their eyes and ask them, what's wrong with this gentleman? Now they can't see the gentleman. They'll put up one finger. You ask him, have you got heart trouble? Yes, but how do you know? We know it on fingertips is a very nice phrase used in English language. To know on your fingertips. You do know on your fingertips. And when you know on your fingertips, you have to just know how to correct. How to correct your centers and how to correct the centers of others. I am talking of love and compassion. Truth is love and love is truth. If it is not so, then it is not true. This compassion is so beautifully felt when you get yourself realized. The first thing happens that you become extremely dynamic and extremely compassionate. Automatically. Because these all qualities are within. They are suppressed, they are challenged, they are denied, but they are there. And if you just get your self-realization, you are amazed at yourself. That how is it suddenly you have become so dynamic. Now these are mostly English who were sick. My father used to tell that never try to teach Hindi language to any Englishman. Always. It's very difficult. They can never pronounce Indian words properly. But see here, spontaneously they can sing Sanskrit, Hindi, Marathi, which is a very difficult language. All kinds of languages they can sing. I am amazed at them. This is nothing. But what happens that you get the power to give realization to others. Like one enlightened can enlighten many others in the same way. I can't go to every corner of every country. But everywhere, even in Siberia, we have got so many surgeries. It is spreading like a wind spreads the seeds. And everywhere I am surprised that How people are taking to surgery? Because it solves your physical problem, which has been proved. There are 3 doctors in India who have got MD in surgery. And the 4th one is also coming in epilepsy. Cancer has been definitely cured. No credit to me. There's no credit to me. But the credit goes to the Creator who has put this power there. This work has been done in our country, in India, since long. But it was a secret, kept a secret for years together, because that was the tradition that one person should get it. It was so difficult in those days for people to get realization. But in modern times, I think it's a blossom time, because it is working on us. If I have done any work with this, that I have found out the method, how to give realization on us. Now, another point is very important, that you cannot put in any effort. It just works spontaneously. And the second thing is, you can't pay for it. One must understand that God doesn't understand money, or He doesn't understand bank. See, it is your own. You cannot pay for it. If you have to pay for it, then that is not divine. Anything that is divine, you cannot pay for it. You can pay for this hall, for certain rupees are paid this time, for this hall. It's all right. But you cannot pay for your self-realization. That is something spontaneous, living, as we don't pay. This is one thing I have to tell, that your attention moves from materialism to spiritualism. Or we should call it not ism, but spirituality. You become a spiritual person. And automatically things work out. You don't have to worry, because if the whole divine power is with you, if you are in the realm of God's kingdom, it just works. Everything works out. From small to big. You are amazed how things work out. It is really surprising. Not being able to develop that in our heart. But it is the compassion and love which is bubbling in you, which is about to express itself, and that it is not only words or action, but it is something that you become thoughtlessly aware. For example, if I say you pay attention to yourself, you can. But it cannot be in the present. When you are in the present, there is no thought. And there, if you achieve that state of peace, there is no need to have any organization, anything. Just the peace establishes itself. It's a fountain of peace that you are, but you have to achieve that state of peaceful existence within yourself, which comes from thoughtless awareness. In Sanskrit we call it Nirvichar Sahaja. Then the second stage when it comes, the last but not the least, is that you jump into the ocean of joy. Nothing but joy. Joy is a state where you don't have, see the whole thing like a drama, and this witness state gives you such tremendous joy. You have never experienced joy so far, which cannot be destroyed by life. And this joy, then you give it to others when you give them realization. You work it out in such a manner that you are not yourself aware. You talk like a third person. You say, Mother, it is working, Mother, it is not working, Mother, it is not going here, Mother, it is not working. Can you imagine somebody who doesn't feel he is doing anything? Because your work becomes non-work, as you call occurrence, where you do not do any work. You are doing it, but you are not doing any work. You don't feel. As you know, I am very old. Quite a television people put the mic on everybody's face and ask them, now what do you think, what do you think, what do you think? It's not like that. It's an actualization of the experience. You actualize the experience. You don't have to ask anybody. You can feel it. This is the first time you are feeling this all-pervading power of God's love. This world was not created for wars, nor for hatred, nor for killing and violence. It was not created for vulgarity that we are taking. It was created for a beautiful moral life, for a beautiful, peaceful enjoyment. And that's what we have to be. It's your birthright to be that. You must use that birthright and get to it. I must tell you that in those days, and what are the powers of the divine, how far it can go to help. Now the time has come for a go to heaven also is very easy now. So why not we try? I know in England there are so that you will have your self-realization. It cannot be forced on you. I am sorry to say it cannot be forced. Because you have to judge. Do you want to have it or not? So it is your pure desire that will. Because this Kundalini is the power of pure desire, the desire of God Almighty. It is the feminine, the mother, you can call the primordial mother, who is reflected in your Kundalini. Of course, people don't believe it. Because in the Bible it's not mentioned. Maybe Paul just tried. Is there? It's surprising they were Gnostics. Gna in Sanskrit means to know. To know. And they were the people who had knowledge, but they were pestered and troubled by the people who were in charge of religion. So no use running after something that your forefathers did and then they did, or you join some club or you are with some cult or something. You have to be individual to be collective. That means you have to be the self to be collective, because self is reflection of one God Almighty. In everyone who is reflected, He has created us so beautifully, and we have no business to ruin ourselves. This comes through our ignorance, complete ignorance. In the darkness now, supposing there's complete darkness, you will trample a snake, it is a rope. Till that snake bites me, I'll go on holding on to it. But if there is little light, you just leave it. On your own, nobody has to tell. In the same way, after realization, I don't have to tell, don't do this. I never say don't. Because if you say don't, half of you will go. It just happens to you that in your own life, you become your own masters. And you see for yourself what's wrong with you, what is destructive. So, before I start it, I have to tell you there are 3 conditions which are to be fulfilled. The first condition is that you have to have full faith in yourself that you will get your self-realization. You shouldn't doubt yourself. After all, you are a human being. You are at the epitome of evolution. You don't understand that. So the second condition follows that you are not to feel guilty at all. What's this of feeling guilty? I don't understand. It's a myth. If you have done some mistakes, all right, correct it and finish it off. But what's the use of carrying this myth with you? I have to tell you that if you feel guilty, this left side of the center catches very badly. And you can get spondylitis, you can get angina, also lethargic organs with it. Or else, if you are following a wrong person and saying wrong mantras or something, also you might get. So whatever has happened, if you are really guilty, you would have been in jail. You would not have been here. Alright. The second condition is that as you have to forgive yourself, you have to forgive others. Now many people tell me, it's very difficult. It's a myth again. Whether you forgive or you don't forgive, you don't do anything. What do? If you don't forgive, you don't do anything. But if you don't forgive, then you play into wrong hands. Those who have harmed you, those who have troubled you, or deceived, whatever it is, are quite happy. While you are playing into their hands and torturing yourself. It's very easy to say that, isn't it? Just to say that I forgive all of them in general. It's very simple, it's a child's play. If you just decide to forgive. So these are the three conditions we have. It's very simple conditions which I hope you will fulfill before we proceed with self-realization process, which is very simple. I have told you the three conditions. Please put both your feet also away from each other. I don't know how far doctor has told you about these two sympathetic systems on the left and right, but these are two parts, left and right. Left is for your emotions, for your past, and the right is for your physical and mental intellectual. Mental English word is different, but mental I mean intelligence or whatever you do with your brain. So these two powers are on the left and the right. And the central part is for your ascent. Now, so please keep these 2 feet, means the two powers apart from each other. I already told you I cannot force one. I cannot. So please put the left hand towards me, just symbolizing that you want to have your self-reality. This is very important. Now we have to use our right hand to give encouragement to our centers on the left hand side. Where resides the spirit? Now put your hand on the upper portion of your abdomen, on the left hand side. If you become the spirit, you become your own guide, you become your own guru, your own master. This is the center of your mastery. Mastery of the laws of the divine. Now you move your hand, the lower portion of your abdomen on the left hand side. This is the center for the divine laws. It's surprising it is so low as that. And the knowledge of it is the pure knowledge. Then you move this right hand again upward onto the upper part of your abdomen, press it hard. Then on your heart again. Then in the angle of your shoulder and your neck, and put your hand to your right. Then you take your right hand onto your forehead across and please put down your head. This is the center for forgiving others. Now take back your right hand on the back side of your head and push back your head. This is the center for your own sake. Center of your palm on top of the fontanelle bone in. And now please put down your head and you have to move your scalp slowly with a pressure clockwise 7 times, slowly. Please put down your head. Stretch back your fingers so you can put a good pressure. Stretch back. That's all you have to do. That's all. Now we have to close our eyes. Don't close. And I put the right hand on the heart. In the heart resides the Spirit. You can call me Mother or Shri Mataji, whatever you like. Mother, ask the question 3 times in your heart, not loudly. Mother, am I the Spirit? Ask this question 3 times. Mother, am I the Spirit? I have told you that if you become the Spirit, you become your own guide, your own master. So now please take your right hand in the upper portion of your abdomen and now please take down your hand in the lower portion of your abdomen and press it hard. I cannot force pure knowledge on you. You have to ask for it. This center has got 6 petals. So you have to ask 6 times, Mother, please give me pure knowledge. Unless until you ask, I cannot force on you. 6 times, please ask. Now, as soon as you ask this question, the Kundalini starts rising. And when she starts rising, we have to support our centers with our self-confidence. So now raise your right hand, the upper portion of your abdomen on the left hand side. And here you have to say with full self-confidence, Mother, I am my own master. This center is created by great masters for us to be enlightened. The pure spirit. Now raise your right hand into the corner of your neck and shoulder and turn your head to your right. Is the ocean of knowledge, bliss and comfort. So now raise your right hand on top of your forehead across and please put down your hands. This is important. Here, you have to say with full confidence, not how many times. Mother, I forgive everyone in general. Restricted center. You have always tortured yourself by not forgiving, and at this important time, if you don't forgive, the Kundalini cannot pierce through. So please forgive. Please forgive everyone. Don't think about them, but please forgive. Very important. Now please take your right hand, the back side of your head, and push back your head. Push back through. Here, O Divine Power, if I have done any mistakes, knowingly or unknowingly, please forgive me. O Divine Power, if I have done any mistake, knowingly or unknowingly, please forgive me. me. This you have to say 3 times, or times are not important, say it from your heart. Please say it from your heart. Even said once is alright from your heart. Said anything from your heart will work out faster than anything else. Top of your head, where it was a soft bone in your childhood. It's called as the fontanelle bone area. Please stretch your hand fully and put your center of your palm on top of this. Please move your scalp slowly, very slowly, 7 times, saying, Mother, please give me self-realization. It cannot be forced, I am sorry to say. So please put down your head and say, now, please open your eyes very slowly. Put on your glasses. Put both the hands towards me like this. Now watch me without thinking. You can do it. Please watch me without thinking. Now, put the right hand towards me like this. Put down your head and see for yourself only. You have to verify yourself. See for yourself if there's a cool breeze like or hot breeze also can come. Is coming out of your fontanelle bone area. Bend your head. It's easier to see. Now, don't put your hand on top of the head, but away from it. Not very much away. Just see for yourself, because some people get it far away, some people get it close by, depends on. So please adjust and see for yourself if there's a cool breeze coming out of your fontanelle bone area. Now, please put your left hand also. Now again bend your head and see for yourself. This is your Kundalini is awake. See now for yourself if there's a cool breeze coming out of your fontanelle bone area. Now if you have not forgiven, it will be hot. So please forgive now. Doesn't matter if you cool down after some time. Don't get upset with it. Now put the right hand towards you and see with the left hand if there's a cool breeze coming out. Or a hot breeze like that. Ask a question. Any one of these questions you can ask 3 times. Mother, is this the cool breeze of the Holy Ghost? 3 times in your heart. Or, Mother, is this the root? Or, Mother, is this the Parama Chaitanya? Ask any one of these questions 3 times. Now please put down your hands. Put your hands like this. You will feel on your fingertips. All those who felt cool or hot breeze coming out of their fingertips, towards fingertips, or on top of their palms, or out of their fontanelle bone area. Please raise both your hands. See, I bow to you all. May God bless. I bow to you. Now your saintly life has started. Please believe me, but you have to grow into it. You have to grow. For that you have to come to collective. Nobody will charge you any money or anything. But you have to pay attention to your self-realization, and with little understanding, within 1 month's time you can become a master of this Sahaja, no doubt, maximum. But you have to come to our collective